Good morning, boys and girls. I hope you are all well. I hope you are really enjoying your distance learning. Today we are going to look at some of our guided reading. We're going to do exactly what we do in class, where we're going to look at a book. But first we're going to remind ourselves of some of our reading strategies. Let's go and have a look. So a reading strategy that we like to use a lot is our eagle eye. Our eagle eye is when we look at a word, we take the first letter from that word and we look at pictures in the book to help us. Our second reading strategy we like to use is our stretchy snake. So for example, we're going to stretch our word out and we're going to sound each sound out and then we're going to go back and put it all together. So for example, ship, sh-ip. See how I split the word up and then sounded it out. So sh-ip, ship. But first let's just have a quick reminder and have a go at a stretchy snake of our own. So first I'm going to have a go, then you'll have a go, and then we'll do it all together. Ready? Coin. K, oi, n. You have a go for me? Good job. Well done. Let's do it all together one more time. Coin. K, oi, n. Fantastic job, guys. So today, the book that you are going to be looking at is called The Cornflake Coin. We are going to have a read, and then what I would like you to do is go back over it yourself and have a read. It is on Oxford Owl, and your parents should have access to this by now. There is a video showing them how they can access it on Class Dojo. And then after that, we will have a really fun time having a go at a Kahoot quiz. So boys and girls, this is what our book looks like on Oxford Owl. Just to remind you, there is a video on Class Dojo explaining to your parents how they can access Oxford Owl. And it's a good thing that they can access it so that you can read this online. Let's have a read, shall we? Chapter 1. The Find. Look! Cried Kerry. She was scrabbling in the long grass. What is it? Asked Omar. It was lunchtime and Kerry and Omar were out in the field. Kerry held something round and shiny. It gleamed in the sun. It's a coin, she said. It looks really old. Let's take it to Mr. Hart, said Omar. Then he'll put it in for the competition. You never know, we might win. The local newspaper was running a competition for schools in the area. The child who found the oldest and most exciting treasure would win a trip for two to Space Fun Park. You can find buried treasure anywhere, the newspaper said. Let's have a look at that coin, said Omar. Omar spun it in his fingers. Wow, he said, it does look old. Omar passed it back to Kerry, who was jumping about with excitement. It's a real treasure coin, she grinned. Come on, she shouted. We're going to show this to Mr. Hart right now. 2. The Real Thing. Mr. Hart was sitting at his desk when Kelly and Omar burst into the classroom. What's going on? Asked Mr. Hart, looking up. I just found this on the field, panted Kerry. Will you enter it for the buried treasure competition? She dropped the shiny coin onto Mr. Hart's desk. Mr. Hart rubbed the coin. Then he looked at the writing on it. Kerry and Omar stared at him. If you look at the edge of the coin, he said, you can see the words Fun Start. Kerry and Omar looked at each other. You mean like Fun Start, the cereal? Asked Kerry. Mr. Hart nodded. Yes, Kerry. This coin looks real, but it's a copy. It's a free gift from a cereal packet. I'm really, really sorry. Kerry felt her heart sink. Mr. Hart saw her face. "Cheer up, Kerry," he said. "There's plenty of time to find some real treasure before the competition closes." Kerry and Omar walked back across the classroom. They were about to go out when they heard someone behind them. It was Matt Thorne. He was always saying mean things. Now he was laughing at Kerry. Chapter 3. Serial Laughter. The next day all the class knew about Kerry's cereal packet coin. Matt Thorne had told everyone. Kerry wanted to enter a cornflake coin in the treasure competition. Matt smirked. Everyone laughed, but Matt laughed the loudest. "That's enough, Matt," said Mr. Hart. "Don't let Matt bother you," whispered Omar, but Kerry had gone red in the face. She was angry with Matt and cross with herself. How could she have been so stupid to think that the coin was real treasure? Over the next few days everyone talked non-stop about the treasure competition. Lots of children brought in things they had found at home or in their gardens. Cara brought in some yellowy old photos. Ben dug up an old glass bottle, and Jazz brought in an old children's book with a green cover. Then Matt Thorne showed everyone a white and blue china teacup. He'd taken it out of his grand's cupboard. Mr. Hart looked at the teacup very carefully. "This is very old, Matt," he said. "I think it's got a good chance of winning the competition." Matt chuckled proudly. Kerry glared at him. There was no way she was going to let him win. At the end of the day she hurried out of school. "What are you doing?" asked Omar, trying to keep up with her. "We have to find something older than Matt's teacups," Kerry said. Back home, Kerry asked her mum to take them to the park. Kerry and Omar looked under the benches, in bushes, and next to the fence. They found half a pencil and an old football. Then Kerry asked her mum if they could go down by the canal. "What are you two up to?" asked Kerry's mum. "Nothing," said Kerry. By the canal they looked under the bridge and along the path. They found a broken doll, 6 empty sweet packets. Half an hour later they were both tired and fed up. "Let's go home," said Omar. Kerry nodded glumly. "Let's forget about the stupid competition," she said. Chapter 4. Barker Digs for Gold. At the weekend, Kerry and Omar were in the park having a picnic with Kerry's mum and dad. Kerry was still in a bad mood. "What's up with you?" asked her mum. Kerry shrugged her shoulders. "I'm taking Barker for a walk before he digs any more holes," her dad said. "Why don't you two come with me?" "Don't feel like it," said Kerry. "Come on," said Dad. "We can go up the big hill where they're building that new cafe." Kerry groaned. She stood up and took Barker's lead. 10 minutes later they were at the top of the hill. There was a huge muddy hole in the ground where the cafe was going to be built. Dad went to look at the yellow digger parked under some trees. Barker suddenly started howling and pulling away from Kerry. She dropped his lead. In seconds he had raced down into the hole and started digging. "Maybe he's found some real treasure," Kerry shouted. "I bet it's just an old bone," said Omar. "He's always digging something up." Barker scrabbled about and dug up some bits of wood. Then he trotted over to Kerry. There was something in his mouth. The look of excitement vanished from Kerry's face. "Just our luck," she grumbled. "It's another one of those stupid cornflake coins." "Let's keep it anyway," said Omar. "You can if you want to," shrugged Kerry, handing him the coin. "But I've had enough of cornflake coins." Just then Kerry's dad called them over. It was time to go. Omar slipped the coin into his pocket. Kerry grabbed Barker's lead and they all went back down the hill. Chapter 5, and the winner is... On Friday, Mr. Hart packed up all of the treasure that the class had found. He put it into a big cardboard box. The competition closes today, he said. I'll drop this off at the newspaper after school. Does anyone have anything else? Everyone shook their heads. Then Omar felt a coin in his back pocket. It was the one Barker had found. Kerry's dog found this, he said, passing the coin to Mr. Hart. It's another Cornflake coin, called Matt Thorne. Everyone laughed. Why did you have to bring that out? Hissed Kerry crossly. A few days later, the whole school was packed into the hall. A tall woman stood up. My name is Claire Fenton, she said. I'm the editor of a local newspaper. I'm very glad to tell you that someone from this school has won our buried treasure competition. There was a ripple of excitement in the hall. Everyone looked at Matt Thorne. They'd all heard about his teacup. Matt was grinning from ear to ear. He was getting ready to collect his prize. The winner is, says the editor, Kerry Robinson. Kerry has found a real Roman coin. There were gasps of surprise, and then everyone began clapping. Kerry stood up in shock. She grabbed Omar's elbow. You're coming with me, she said. The only person not clapping was Matt Thorne. Well done, beamed the editor. You will be on the front page of our newspaper this week. The editor handed Kerry the tickets for Space Fun Park and smiled. Mr. Hart said your dog Barker found the coin. Barker found it, replied Kerry. But Omar helped too. He stopped me throwing it away. I thought it was a Cornflake coin. Well, it's a good thing that Barker knew what it was, laughed the editor. I think he and Omar should be on the front page too, don't you? On the way back to class, everyone wanted to talk to Kerry and Omar. Matt Thorne walked behind, his face looking like a thundercloud. Mr. Hart smiled at Kerry. Barker dug up the real thing, didn't he? Yes, Kerry nodded. It's a good thing he knows the difference between a treasure coin and a cornflake coin. She looked at Omar and they both grinned. So now that I have finished reading the book for you children, go all the way back to the beginning and have a go at reading it yourself. If you are struggling with some of the words, please rewind the video so you can listen to me read it again, or down here there is a play button where Oxford Owl will read it to you. So boys and girls, you should all be finished with your reading by now, and you should be on to your Kahoot quiz. Kahoot should look like this. You can access it through Google, or if you are doing your guided reading on an iPad or tablet or a phone, you can download it from the App Store. So, first you need to enter your game pin. Your game pin for this quiz is 0207608. Let's press enter. So boys and girls, this is what your quiz will look like. You have 4 questions and a time limit. To join the game, you need to enter your name and press OK, go, and your questions will come up. Once you have finished, please send me or your class teacher a picture of you completing your task. Enjoy and have fun.